We are currently entering a new era in music. One where unsigned, completely unknown 20-year-old artists are making a full-time living off of their music more than they would be making from a major record label. They're not on tour, they're not selling merch out of the back of their trunk, and they're definitely not begging for streams or playlist placements. Yet, somehow, someway, they're making a living. And why is this? It's because they've figured out something that most artists have not figured out. And once you hear it, you will not unsee it. Because you see, the rules with music and building a music fan base and monetizing a fan base, they've changed. And not only have they changed, but they've completely inverted. A few years ago, attention was quite literally the hardest thing to get. You needed radio play, you needed label backing, you needed industry connections to be seen. But today, attention is everywhere. The real challenge now is not knowing how to get attention, but it's knowing how to monetize it. And the artists who are winning right now, they've stopped chasing the outdated models. And they started building systems that can actually bring them attention and then monetize that attention into an income. And some of these artists are calling this the new exposure economy. But I personally like to call it one of the biggest opportunities that there is for new, unknown music artists to come in and build a full-time living off of music. And in just a second in this very video, I'm going to show you how that exactly works. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to just explain the idea and leave you by yourself wondering what to do from there. I'm gonna hand you the blueprint. In this video, I'm going to break down the exact 4-step system that you can literally copy and paste after this video so that you can not only learn how to monetize the attention you get, but you can also learn how to bring in attention the fastest way possible. And in fact, if you stick with me and you watch this video all the way through, you will walk away with something that you can quite literally copy for yourself, even if you've never gone viral, even if you don't have a ton of songs out, and even if you don't know what you're doing, and you'll start seeing results. Now, once you see how this actually all works and you all tie it together, you'll realize how backwards most music artists have it. Now, this is the exact same system that my student Deidre used, this is the exact system that my student Eli used, and this is the exact system that Mabu used. And every single one of these people started from nothing. So if you're serious about turning your music into a full-time income, stick with me through this video. What I'm about to show you in this video might just be the one thing that you are missing. Now, real quick, if we haven't met yet, my name is Sunlight. I've helped hundreds of music artists grow their fan bases, monetize their audiences, and finally stop spinning their wheels. I have well over 30,000 artists following me across all platforms, and the system I'm about to show you has generated millions of views and tens of thousands of dollars in fan-driven income. But that's not what matters. What matters is, I wasn't some industry insider when I started. I was stuck, broke, and frustrated just like you. The only difference now, I stopped guessing, I stopped blaming luck, and instead I realized that there's a system. And once you understand the system, you will never look back at music promotion the same. Now, before I walk you through the full system, I need to do something that most people skip completely, and it's probably why most artists stay stuck. I need to show you why everything else that you've been told to do up until this point does not actually work when it comes to building and monetizing a fan base. Because right now, whether you realize it or not, your brain is comparing this to every single strategy that you've already tried and believed will work. Ads, playlisting, live shows, and even if you're nodding along, part of your mind is still going to whisper, what if that one actually works? And that quiet doubt, it kills belief. And belief is the only thing that makes people take action. So before I give you the 4-step system that actually works, let's clear out the noise. Let's lay everything out that artists try. And one by one, I will show you, using logic, numbers, and real world results, why none of them hold up. Now, this is only going to take a minute, but once we go through this, the system that I'm about to give you will make a lot more sense. And you're finally going to see why this strategy that I'm going to show you in this video is the only strategy worth building around in 2025. And now, just so this doesn't feel like it's just based off of my opinion, I'm going to grade each path that you could possibly take based on 5 simple metrics. Now, these are the only things that actually matter if you are serious about building a real career from your music. First is cost. How much does it actually take to get started and keep going? Number 2 is scalability. How big can it grow without you burning out? Number 3 is conversion. How likely is it to actually turn strangers into real fans? Number 4 is learning. Does it give you feedback that you can improve with, or are you kind of just guessing? And number 5 is longevity. Does it compound over time, or does it die the second that you stop? Now, if a strategy fails with even one of these metrics, it's broken. And if it fails all 5, it's kind of a death wish. So let's start with one of the most common traps and strategies that is promoted across social media, running paid ads. Now, maybe you've already tried boosting posts or running Facebook campaigns or paying for shoutouts, and honestly, it seems logical, right? Pay to get in front of the right people. But when you break it down, it completely falls apart. So let's grade it. Cost. This is fucking brutal. Ads cost money up front. They cost real money. And even just testing a campaign properly can set you back $500 to $1,000. And that's just to see what works. Now, here's the kicker. 90% of artists running ads don't even know how to interpret the result, optimize their creatives, or retarget properly. So it's not just expensive, it's expensive and blind. Now, number 2 is scalability. It's non-existent. You're trading your dollars for visibility. You're not building equity. The second your budget runs out, the traffic stops. There is no compounding, there's no momentum, there's no long-term payoff. You're literally just renting attention for reach. And true scalability means that the more that you create, the less you have to spend, not the other way around. Now, number 3 is conversion, and it's honestly pretty weak, because let's be honest, cold traffic does not care. Someone seeing a 15-second ad in between memes is not going to suddenly make them become a loyal fan. You are forcing music into their feed when they're not emotionally ready to receive it, and that's interruption, not connection. And even if you do get streams, they're usually empty listens that do not really convert into real fan behavior. Follows, comments, merch, loyalty, all of the things that you actually want. Now, number 4 is learning. Now, ads give you data, but they don't give you insight. You'll see click-through rates and cost per clicks and all of these different metrics, but you won't learn what actually got people to connect with you. You won't learn what hook sticks. You won't understand what part of your identity that your audience actually responds to. And there's no real feedback loop. There's just numbers. And in most cases, not the kind that actually matters for an artist. And now finally, longevity. When you stop spending, it's like you were never there. No algorithm carries your content forward. No fan journey continues. It's quite literally just a flat line. Now, real fan base growth needs compounding, where every single piece of content builds on the last. Now, paid ads do not do that. They spike and they die every single time. So let me be blunt about this. Ads are not a fan base building strategy. They are a money pit disguised as momentum. And I'm not saying that ads are never useful, but using them as your core strategy to build a music career, it's broken by design. And that's just one path. So let's keep going. Let's talk about another trap that seems legit on the surface, but completely falls apart when you actually look at it. Playlisting. Whether it's Spotify editorial, submission sites, or paying creators, this feels like the smart way to rack up streams. You get placed on a playlist, streams start flowing in, and it feels like you're finally getting traction. But here's the problem. It doesn't actually build anything real, because playlisting does not create fans, it just inflates numbers. So let's grade it. Cost, medium, but it's misleading, because most submissions are cheap, and some are even free. Others cost $20 to $100, so it feels like a low risk move, but the hidden cost is opportunity loss. Every week that you spend submitting the playlist is a week that you're not building your own pipeline, your own system, and your own brand. You're handing your visibility over to someone else and crossing your fingers that they say yes. Scalability? 0. There is no system to this. Even if you get placed once, there is no guarantee that it'll happen again. There's no repeatable process because you can't scale up, and you're depending on someone else's platform to reach listeners that you'll never be able to speak to again. Now that ties into conversion, which is terrible. People don't follow you, they follow the playlist. Now you might get streams and you might get some fans, but they're passive. They're not going to comment, they're not going to build a connection, they're not going to have loyalty to you. And if someone skips your track after 15 seconds, you're done. Playlists give you ears, but they don't allow you to nurture. And nurturing and building an emotional connection is what creates real fans. And that ties into learning, which is non-existent because there's no feedback. You don't know if it was the vibe, the cover art, the track placement, or just the time of day. Because you get streams, but you don't get any insight. You don't get any content to test. You don't get any audience behavior to analyze. You just get numbers with no meaning. And finally, longevity, which is fragile. You're in today, but you're gone tomorrow. And once your song is removed from the playlist, the streams vanish with it. And since those numbers never cared in the first place, they're not coming back. No momentum, no compounding, just a flat line after the spike. So what's the verdict? Playlisting might make your stats look better, but it doesn't give you any leverage. It's not audience building, it's not brand building, it's just rented attention. And rented attention never lasts. Now, let's talk about the most romanticized his ideas in music? Touring and live shows. Now this is the dream, right? Performing in front of real people, seeing fans face to face, making money from your art in real time. And listen, there's nothing wrong with loving the stage, but if you're trying to build a scalable income from music, touring has some serious flaws. And let's break it down. Cost, high. Flights, gas, hotels, merch inventory, equipment, and even if you're just local, the time cost alone is insane. You might not be paying upfront cash, but you're spending time, energy, and opportunity. And most small shows, you're lucky to even break even. Scalability, there's a hard cap. You can only be in one city at a time. You can't tour harder to grow faster because it doesn't scale. More shows mean more burnout, and when you're not on the road, the revenue stops. And that ties into conversion, which is medium, but it's limited. Because yes, people who do see you live are more likely to become real fans, but how many people are you actually reaching? 20? 50, 200 on a good night? Compare that to one viral video that could be seen by 100,000 people in a day. Now live shows create deep connection but shallow volume, and that ties into learning. Maybe, but slow. You might get a feel for which songs hit harder in person, but there's no scale to your data. You don't get to A/B test 10 different ideas a day. You don't get analytic because you can't do 10 different shows every day, which means that it has to be based off of your intuition and not actual insight. And it takes forever to compound into anything strategic so that you can actually learn and change what you need to do. And finally, longevity. None unless you tour forever. Now touring only pays when you're doing it. When you stop, everything stops. There's no algorithm that keeps your momentum going. You're not building assets, you're literally just exerting energy. So here's the truth. Touring is great if you already have demand. If people are coming because they're fans of your content, your story, and your brand, then shows can amplify that connection. But if you're touring hoping to build that fan base, then you're doing it backwards. So now we've broken down the 3 most common strategies that artists chase. And it should be clear by now, they all fail in the same way. They're expensive, they don't scale, they don't convert strangers into fans, and they don't teach you anything that helps you grow. And they might look good on the outside. When you hold them up to the metrics that actually matter, they all break. But what if there was a 4th option? A model that actually hits all 5 of these metrics. Something affordable, scalable, repeatable, and most importantly, something that actually compounds over time. It's not a theory, it's not a gimmick, it is real, and it's working right now. And in a minute, I'm going to break down exactly what it is and show you the full 4-step system behind it. But first, let's see how it scores. Cost, minimal. It doesn't require ad spend. You don't need a team, a studio, or a crazy setup. And if you have a phone and Wi-Fi, you are already qualified because it's designed to be accessible from day one, even if you're starting from zero. Scalability, off the charts. One asset, 1 hour of your time can reach 10,000 or even 10 million people. And when you do it right, it keeps working long after you've stopped touching it. This model multiplies your effort instead of draining it. It doesn't burn you out, it builds while you sleep. Which leads us to conversion, which is built in because it doesn't rely on cold traffic or force-fed exposure. It attracts people, it connects to people, and it's structured in a way that naturally turns passive attention into action, follows, streams, and real fan behavior. The kind that moves the needle. In the learning, it's constant because you're not guessing what works, you're getting real-time feedback. Every move teaches you something. You'll know within 24 hours what's working, what's not, and what to double down on. It's literally a feedback loop on steroids. And that leads us finally to longevity, which is unreal. This does not die when you stop. In fact, it often gets stronger. It compounds because the assets that you create build momentum over time, and the longer that they live, the more they grow. So yeah, this model checks every box. And this model, it's the one that all of my students that you see here on screen have used to build their music fan bases. And it's built entirely on one thing: short form content. Not creating more songs, not dropping more consistently, not dropping merch or live shows, not playlisting, just short form content. Used strategically to generate attention, convert that attention into a fan base, and then turn that fan base into income. And we call the system behind it the content monetization funnel. And what I'm about to walk you through is not theory. It is quite literally a 4-step framework that makes this process repeatable, even if you have 0 followers, 0 budget, and 0 confidence on camera. And this next part is important because even though we've just proven that this is the best model, your brain might still be thinking, sure, maybe it works for other people, but how do I know that it's going to work for me? And that's what the next 4 steps are for, because each one of these is designed to break the exact limiting beliefs that might be holding you back and show you in real time that not only can you do this, but you're actually about to. So let's start with step 1. Post content. But not just any content, you need to post content that actually gets seen. Because if nobody sees it, nothing else matters. No one hears your song, no one follows, no one buys, but here's the part that no one tells you. You don't need to create content from scratch. You don't need to guess. You don't need to be super creative, and you definitely do not need to wait for inspiration. You just need to do one thing. Find what's already working and slide your music into it. And this is what I call the steal and slap method. Here's how it works. Step 1, open TikTok, Instagram Reels, or YouTube Shorts. Step 2, scroll for 5 minutes. Step 3, ignore all of the videos except the ones that have hit 1 million+ views. It could be a funny meme or it could just be a trend. Step 4 is ask yourself, if this format got 1 million views and this concept, this idea got 1 million views, how could I use this to recreate this exact same structure and steal the virality from it, but use my music and integrate it inside? Now, this is not about copying other people and just being a thief. It's about copying where attention is already going, because once you start thinking in terms of what's already proven and not your own ideas, your whole world changes. And once you prove you can get an idea for what to do without having to be original, you're no longer stuck. And this is step 1 of the system. Generate content that gets seen by stealing the structure that already works. And here's what's wild. This one action is the same first step that eventually leads to monetization. Now, you might not see it yet, but by the time we get to step 4, I'm going to show you exactly how this tiny shift and how you post your content becomes the thing that makes your music pay you month after month. But before we get there, we need to move into step 2, because getting seen is just the beginning. The next step, it's how to make people actually care. So let's get into it. Step 1 is about getting views, but step 2 is about knowing what to do with them, because most artists who go viral just end up invisible, not because the video didn't hit, but because they had no system to capture that attention and move it somewhere that actually matters. And that brings us to the biggest myth in music marketing. If I go viral, people will just check me out. They won't. Viral is not equal to value. Attention is not equal to action. And without a funnel, even 1 million views can result in nothing. So in step 2, we're going to fix that. So here's your action. Every single piece of content that you post, whether it's a meme, a performance clip, or anything that's just there to spread the awareness to your music, must have one job: to direct the viewer. Now, what I mean by this is I mean you need to implement certain things in your content or in your profiles that makes people actually go to the next step. Now, an example of this would be a pinned comment that says to go listen to the song. It would be a reply in the comments that says to go listen to the song, a call to action in your bio that says to go listen to the song, anything that can send people to go listen to your music so that they can actually become a part of your world and you can start to nurture them. Now, these things seem small, but here's the belief that we're breaking. People will care enough to find my stuff on their own. They won't. Not unless you show them exactly what to do. But when you pair high performing content with high converting direction, you build what almost no artists have: a funnel. And even if only 1% of your viewers take the next step, when 1% of 1 million people hear your song, follow you, or save your profile, you're not invisible anymore. You're building real traction. And that's what moves us to step 3, which is brand. So you've got some attention, a few thousand people have seen your video, a few of them have clicked on your profile, and some even hit your song. But now what? Now it's about keeping them around, because attention is not what builds a fan base. Attention that sticks does. And the way that you get that? Consistency. And not just in how often you post, but in what people see when they land on your page. And here's what I mean. Most artists treat content like a bunch of random posts. One day it's a lifestyle, next day it's a sad song, then a vlog, then a joke, and honestly, none of this has consistency, and it doesn't help. It's all just a bunch of noise. And the artists who win, they build something that people recognize the second that they see it, because it's consistent. The same energy, the same attitude, the same themes, and you just know what they're about, even if they've never said it directly. And that is what builds real fans, because people follow what feels familiar. So if your content has a consistent look, consistent tone, and message, they're more likely to come back. So here's what you have to do. You have to pick 3 things that your brand should always reflect. Keep it simple. Think money, girls, violence, flexing, being hated, being an outlaw, anything like that. Whatever matters to you, make it a rule. Your content, your captions, your music, your visuals, they all should feel like they're coming from the same world. Because if your videos feel random, people will not remember you. But if your brand feels like an actual world, they will want to enter your world and they will follow you without even thinking. And that's step 3, brand. Make it feel like something that people want to be a part of. And now you've got the attention. You funneled it. You've built the brand that people actually recognize. Let's talk money. Step 4, monetize. Let's keep it real. Most artists think that making money from music is some big fantasy. They think that they need to get signed, they need to go on tour, they need to sell out shows, and they need to push merch. But the truth, you don't need any of that. You need basic math. So let's break it down. Let's say that your content is doing what we've already covered. It's getting seen, it's converting some people that check you out, and you've built a brand that people remember. Now watch this. You get 500,000 views in a month on short form content. Now that's not crazy. That's 4 to 5 solid videos. And let's say that just 1% of people click your profile. That's 5,000 people. And 10% of those actually hit your song. That's 500 new streams. Now if you do that every week, that is 2,000 plus monthly streams, all from free videos. Now stack this with a drop, maybe like a $10 exclusive thing, an unreleased track, a vocal preset, a private Discord, whatever. And let's say that just 1% of those 5,000 people buy, that's 50 people. Now $10 times 50 is 500. Now if we repeat that weekly, that's $2,000 a month. And that's before you do merch, before you do tickets, before you even talk about brand deals or high ticket stuff. And this whole system, it scales because more content equals more views equals more people in the funnel, and more people equals more streams, more sales, and more fans. And none of it requires a label, ads, team, touring, or begging anyone to check you out, because this is not theory, it's a volume game. Post the content, funnel the attention, build the brand, and the money comes after that. And when it comes, it's automatic. So step 4 is not about dreaming, it's about realizing that the numbers aren't the problem, it's the system that you're using. And now you have it. You've seen every piece. Step 1, post. Step 2, funnel. Step 3, brand. Step 4, monetize. Now let's face it, you have the system now. You have the exact 4 steps that you need. But the real question isn't what to do, it's how fast you can actually make it work. Because yeah, you could go figure this all out yourself. You could go start posting videos, guess at what formats work, try some random captions, hope that your brand naturally connects with people, and experiment with offers to see what people actually might want to buy. And if you're patient enough, maybe you'll crack it eventually. But here's the reality. You're gonna waste months, maybe even years guessing at what works. You're gonna lose momentum every single time that a video flops and you don't know why. You're gonna burn out trying to build a fan base without a strategy that actually compounds. And worst of all, you're gonna second guess everything, wondering if you're even doing it right. And every month that you stay stuck, that's time that you could have spent stacking fans, stacking income, and actually building your career. So at this point, you have 2 options. Option 1, you can take what you've learned here and try to figure out the rest by yourself, which honestly, if you think that it's right for you, I'd honestly encourage that you do that. Or you can take option 2, which is the shortcut. You can plug into a system that's already built, already tested, and already working for artists who are exactly where you are right now. And that's exactly why I created Fanbase Accelerator, because inside, I don't just explain the ideas, I hand you the exact video formats that you can post today, the exact words and frameworks that deepen loyalty to the awareness that you gain, the exact offers that can make you 5 to 10 times more from the audience that you already have, and the exact psychological strategies that grow your brand bigger, faster, and deeper. Now there's no guessing anymore, there's no reverse engineering, and there's no starting from zero. So if you give me just a quick minute, I will explain to you what you'll all get inside of Fanbase Accelerator. Now what I'm teaching you inside of this is not theory. This is the exact same system that has been used by over 50 artists across multiple genres to go from under 1,000 monthly listeners to 10,000, 50,000, and even 100,000 plus monthly listeners, while stacking $2,000 to $10,000 a month in income on the back end. And now I packaged it into a step-by-step video program with real templates, swipe files, and direct mentorship so that you don't need to guess. You can just copy what I tell you to do. So here's what you'll be getting when you join. First of all, you're going to be getting the Fanbase Accelerator video library, which comes with 4 core video modules. The first video module is Fanbase Genesis. You'll master short form virality with a repeatable structure that's been used to generate over 10 million views across TikTok, Reels, and Shorts. And I'll show you exactly what makes videos blow up and how to engineer that consistently. The next module is Psychological Ascendancy. Inside of this, you're going to discover the exact psychological triggers that make fans emotionally invested into your brand. You'll get proven influence tactics used by artists with rabid fan bases and how to apply them in your content, captions, and visuals. Now the third module is called Psychology. This isn't branding, it's belief. I'll show you how to create a brand identity that people align with, making you unforgettable and sticky in a space where most artists just stay invisible. And the fourth module is going to be fan-based monetization. Inside of this, you're going to get my full system for creating digital offers, selling without feeling like a salesman, and stacking income from your audience, even if you're starting from zero. Now, on top of these 4 training modules, you're also going to get an entire suite of tactical resources designed designed to eliminate guesswork and make execution frictionless. You're going to get things like psychological swipe files and templates. Now, these are pre-written psychological frameworks that deepen engagement, influence behavior, and build stronger fan connections, pulled from the most effective short-form campaigns online. You don't need to reinvent anything. You can just plug in and go. You're also going to get offer and monetization templates. If you want to sell digital products, exclusive drops, subscriptions, these templates show you exactly how to structure, price, and position your offers so that fans want to buy before you even pitch them. You're also going to get a bunch of PDF cheat sheets and tracking templates so that you can stay organized, track progress, and these downloadable resources help you turn your brand into a machine. You're also going to get a bunch of hook and video blueprints. Stop wondering about what to post. Instead, you can use proven hook styles and formats responsible for over 10 million views across student content. Just fill in the blanks, record, and upload. You can literally steal this stuff for yourself. Now, these alone are worth $2,500 plus in saved time, failed content, and missed opportunities. They are built from real experiments from what took me literally 5 years to figure out you're gonna get on day one. But beyond that, you're also getting real access to me directly, because you're gonna get private one-on-one access to me inside of the group chat. This isn't some ghosted community. I am inside of this private student chat every single day, answering questions, reviewing content, and breaking down strategy in real time. You're not left alone to figure this out. You have me in your pocket. Now, as well as that, there's also currently 25 plus other active students inside of this inner circle. You'll be inside of a created private community of artists who are actually executing on the system, which means that you can ask other people inside of the community who are seeing results for feedback, strategy, and help with your brand. Now, this group chat alone is worth more than most courses, because when you're stuck, confused, or second guessing, you get feedback in minutes, not weeks. Now, think about it for a second. If all this did was finally give you a proven way to build a fan base without wasting years of guessing, it would be worth more than 5 times what I'm charging today. And if all it did was save you from just dropping songs into the void and hoping someone notices with nothing back, it would be worth it. And if all it did was get you 10,000 more real fans, or even just 1,000 real fans who actually care, it would change everything for you. Now, I could easily charge upwards of $5,000 for something like, think about it. $5,000 one time to build the fan base of your dreams and monetize it. We both know that it's worth it, but I'm not. And in fact, I'm not even going to charge half of that, because I want this accessible to as many people as possible. So today, you can join Fanbase Accelerator for only $6.95. And once you're in, you get everything instantly. No waiting, no guessing, no games. You'll have full access to everything that you need to build, scale, and monetize a music fan base quickly. But listen carefully. This isn't something that's going to be available forever. I am personally active inside of the community. I'm answering questions, giving feedback, actually helping people, which means I literally just cannot let a lot of people in at once. There's a real limit on how many artists I can coach at a high level. So once it fills up, I'm either shutting the doors or the price is going up. And so if you're still hearing about this offer right now, you are early. And now, even if you're still on the fence about this, you are going to be 100% protected by my 100,000 stream guarantee. You join, you follow the system, and you implement the things that I teach. And if you don't hit 100,000 streams within 180 days, you'll get every dollar back. No begging, no excuses, no awkward conversations. Either it works or you don't pay. Period. So now you have 2 options. You can close this tab, forget about it, and be in the exact same position that you are 6 months from now, or you can actually start right now and put yourself in the position to finally break through. Because here's the truth. If you're serious about this, there's no smarter move that you could make today. And if you're not serious, you already know that nothing's gonna change anyway. So picture this, 180 days from now, you've built momentum, you've posted the right content, you've stacked fans, you're seeing your Spotify numbers climb, and you're making your first real money from your music. Or you're still scrolling, you're still dreaming, and you're still wondering why nothing's happening. And you'll know it's because you didn't take the shot that you had today. Because I've made the system, I did the work, and I figured it out so that you don't have to. Now the only thing that's missing is you. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to the first link in the description and click the link there. You can join Fanbase Accelerator from there, and within less than a second, you'll be given instant access to everything that I've explained today, and within 30 minutes, you can already be implementing the system that I break down inside, and within 24 hours from now, you could be seeing your first numbers start to come in. So don't hesitate, take the leap of faith now, and click the link in the description to get started now.